This is Bulldog Country, presented by Minnesota Power and Essentia Health.
What is up? Welcome to Bulldog Country. It's our weekly half-hour installment of news, highlights, and analysis of UMD Bulldogs athletics. Our chance to give you, the fans, a bit better idea what actually goes on with these teams and these players that you see competing for UMD. Coming up in tonight's show, we're talking more Olympic Games. The UMD women have had two more former players named to their respective national team, and one who was named this week as the captain for her country leading up to the Olympics. We're also dipping back into the fall sports, as another honor this week came for outgoing UMD senior offensive lineman Tom Olson. So we will chat about the football team a little bit with that. Before we get there, we are joined by UMD men's hockey senior captain Joe Basaraba. Joe, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
This past weekend against Denver at Amso, maybe you leave that series with a little bitter taste in your mouth as a team. Your thoughts about the Friday, Saturday games against the Pioneers?
Yeah, I think I think we had a pretty good weekend. We showed some high spots, a little inconsistency as a team, but it was a tough way to lose on Friday night, and I think it was a good bounce back win there with that shootout on Saturday.
You talk about Friday, you're down 2-0 late in the third period. You score two quick ones to get into overtime, and then Denver scores with less than a minute left in the extra session to win it. When you get there, how important is it to get points? I mean, how disappointing is it to come away with nothing after you guys battled so hard to get back in that game?
Yeah, exactly. It's tough in this league. You lose in overtime and you pick up 0 points for that. But, we just have to stick it out. I think they scored with, under a minute left there. It's a tough one to swallow, but, I think more importantly, if we focus on that third period where we came back and, we're able to tie it up, that's a step in the right direction for our team. And then you look at Saturday night, being able to pull out that win in the shootout was, some success for us.
Saturday night, another kind of bounce back thing, and through the first half, a lot of your losses came on the first night of a series, and then Saturday you bounce back. It seems like there's not a lot of memory on this team. You guys bounce back from a tough Friday pretty well on a Saturday night.
Yeah, that's something we stress in our locker room. We don't want to lose two in a row, and especially at home here, in front of our own fans, we want to win. We want to show them what we can do, and Friday night we came up short, but Saturday, luckily enough, we were able to squeak that one out.
Saturday night officially goes down as a 2-2 tie. We'll call it a 3-2 shootout win for UMD, but with the shootout now in the NCHC for that extra conference point, do you guys like that as players, kind of having some finality to a game? I mean, it felt like you won on Saturday night, even though the game wasn't officially a tie.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Obviously it's great for the fans. I think they love it. Being able to come out and watch a shootout is, something pretty special, and you don't really see that unless you're watching the NHL. But I think that's what they're gearing towards, kind of making college hockey a little bit closer to the NHL with the point system and overtime and how all of that works. But all in all, it's a game. It's fun, and that's what we love to do.
This series kind of seemed like more of a grinded-out type of series, both Friday and Saturday. It felt like you guys were never maybe like flying at your best offensively, and then you look back on some games in the first half where you put it all together offensively. You scored 6 goals against Minnesota at their place is the game that I'm thinking of. But do you guys take pride in being able to play both ways, maybe, depending on how the weekend goes and how each game shapes up?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're not going to get those balances. You're not going to score 4 or 5 goals a game. I think we know that. We stress hard in the defensive zone. We got to be good. We got to be good down there, and that's where it all starts. If we're strong in the D zone, it can lead to offense, and sometimes it's going to be those 2-1 games or 3-2 games. That's just how hard the NCHC is, and that's how you're going to have to win them.
On a personal note, have you had time this season yet to kind of take a step back and look at what you've been able to accomplish at UMD? Do you not want to do that yet with the season still in progress? But you're an outgoing senior now, so I mean, your time here at UMD, what you've accomplished has to be pretty special to you.
Yeah, it's amazing how time flies. Seems like just yesterday I was stepping on campus for the first time to play my freshman year here, and you look at what the program has accomplished in my 4 years, winning a national championship, having a new record for wins, stuff like that. It's very humbling. I'm very proud to be a Bulldog, and this year hopefully we can add to that.
And this season too, getting to wear the letter, getting to wear the C along with junior Adam Krause and captain this team. That's something that every kid dreams of. Maybe you didn't dream of it with the Bulldogs like Adam did growing up here, but I'm sure that getting the letter on your jersey has been a dream come true for you, for UMD.
Yeah, anytime you get to lead a team like that, get a letter on your jersey, it's something special, very humbling. I'm very proud to be able to wear the C for such a recognizable program. The UMD has come so far. We really put ourselves on the map, and I think it's something special for me to be able to have that C, and something I'll keep with me forever.
You've done a good job so far, so thank you very much, Joe. We're going to bring Joe back later in the show, talk about the upcoming weekend at the North Star College Cup, so we'll have that. But right now we're going to take a break. We'll be back talking about more hockey. The UMD women's program has had more connections this week to next month's Olympic Games in Sochi. It's Bulldog Country on the My9 Sports Network. Welcome back. The UMD women's hockey connection to next month's Sochi Winter Olympic Games grew by 2 members this week and will stand at 12 for that international tournament. Former Bulldogs Iya Gavrilova and Alexandra Vafina will both play for Team Russia at the 2014 Olympics. Both were at the Vancouver Games back in 2010, so this will be the second Olympics for each player. Gavrilova spent the 2007-2008 season at UMD and totaled 19 goals and 22 assists in just 26 games played. Vafina was here for the 2012-2013 year. She had 4 goals and 6 assists in her time as a Bulldog. She says hosting the games will be fun, but it also adds some expectations to that Russian roster.
Yeah, that's so good, but it's still extra pressure on us that we have to win at home. But I think it will be better for us that our fans, all people will come and cheer for us.
So with the Russian roster officially announced, it means UMD will have representation on 7 of the 8 Olympic women's hockey teams next month in Sochi. 9 former players will be part of the tournament. 2 current Bulldogs will be there, as will a former assistant coach, making the grand total 12 UMD connections to this year's Olympics. Head coach Shannon Miller says that just adds to the excitement.
And those are the kids that we want to attract. We want to attract kids that want to play on their respective national teams. Obviously, you want to come here and have a great college career. You want to win an NCAA championship or more than one championship in your 4 years. But we want kids that want to make their national teams. Those are the kids that have good habits, sleeping habits, eating habits, and then training habits.
Some more Olympics news this week, this time out of Canada. Former Bulldogs forward Caroline Ouellette will be the captain of that Canadian team next month in Sochi. This will be her 4th Olympics. She won the gold medal with Team Canada in each of the past 3 games. Ouellette played 3 seasons at UMD, totaling 92 goals and 137 assists in 92 games. She is still that program's all-time assists leader. Switching gears now to football, outgoing UMD senior offensive lineman Tom Olson has landed another All-American award for his play in the 2013 season. He was named this week to the Don Hanson All-American First Team, adding that to his second team honor earlier this year from Daktronics. Olson was a 4-year starter on that offensive line. He tied a program record, making 54 consecutive starts across his time as a Bulldog. With that, we are going to take a break. Coming back, we will be joined by UMD women's hockey coach Shannon Miller. We'll talk about the Olympics, and we'll find out what she plans to do for the next 5 weeks without her 2 current players that are headed to Russia. It's Bulldog Country on the My9 Sports Network. Welcome back to Bulldog Country. Joining us for this segment of the show is UMD head women's hockey coach Shannon Miller. Coach, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm happy to be here with you.
Been kind of a roller coaster season for your program to this point. What are your thoughts as we kind of get into the second half of the WCHA schedule for the Bulldogs?
Well, we're in the top half of the WCHA, which is the toughest league in the country, and that was a goal we set for ourselves early in the season, because until you've played a part of the season, you don't really know what you have, unless you're Minnesota and you can set a goal to be number 1. And so our goal was to be in the top half of the WCHA, which is where we're at right now. There's been a few disappointments along the way. Obviously, the tie and loss in the shootout to Columbus, Ohio the other night, and we had a loss earlier to St. Cloud. So there's some games like that we dropped that we shouldn't have dropped. But other than that, we're on course for where we thought we would be.
You always talk about expectations. You always set the highest of expectations for yourself and your program. Is the expectation in the room now still to be in the top 8, get into the NCAA tournament at the end of the season?
Oh, there's no question. There's no question. We had a team meeting yesterday, really a fresh start because some of our Olympians are leaving today, actually. And so we're going to have a new start. It's a new vision. We have a new vision. We've got new goals. And everybody understands still to be in the top 4 in the WCHA and to get into the top 8 for the NCAA and to make it to the NCAA tournament. Yes, it's a big hill for us to climb, but it is not out of reach. And like I said, new vision, new goals, and we're going for it.
You mentioned the 2 Olympians that you lose, Lara Stadler and Taya Valele, your top 2 defensemen through the first half of the season. Losing players always hurts. Losing Olympians obviously going to hurt the depth of your team. But what does it mean to lose those 2, and how do you replace them as a coach? Can you replace them, or do the other girls just kind of have to? I mean, what goes on now for the next 5 weeks?
Well, because they're defensemen, and they're arguably our first 2 defensemen, they're 1 and 2. And so obviously when they leave, there's a great big hole there. But everybody else just has to spread out, right? We know the analogy, and everybody's got to spread out and take up that space, and everybody has to rise up. And that's the beauty of sport, is you're given so many opportunities to be better than you thought you were and to be better than other people expect you to be. And so that's what's happening right now for everybody, including me, for all of us. Be better than anybody expects us to be while these 2 Olympians are gone, and basically create a miracle.
You and I have had this conversation a lot this winter about this Olympic dynamic with women's hockey, where you're going to lose some of your best players for 5 weeks during the middle of the season. But you've maintained throughout all this that those are the players that you want at UMD. You want those players that have aspirations to go play for their national team. Why do you want that if it's going to cause you such a headache every 4 years?
Yeah, we really do, because we want players that aspire to be the best they can be. You know, players that are inspired themselves, intrinsically motivated. So kids that say, hey, I want to win a national championship, but I also want to play for my national team. And those are the kids that we share the same values, and they have good habits, whether it's sleeping habits, eating habits, work ethic habits. And those are the kids you want to attract to your program, and they're going to be all that they can possibly be. And then there's just a healthy relationship.
UMD is going to have representation on 7 of the 8 Olympic teams. And to me, going into these games, that's really the stat of the Olympics, at least from the Northland, that you're represented on 7 out of the 8 teams in a tournament like that. That's just got to make you incredibly proud as a program and as a head coach here.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it really is when you think about it. We're going to have, like you said, representation on 7 of the 8 teams competing in the 2014 Sochi Olympics. So when the people from Duluth turn their TVs on to watch the Olympic Games, I mean, it's like they're part of it. And I love that. I love that it's going to bring our community together. It certainly brings all the UMD Bulldog alumni together from around the world. And we want our players to be at the national team events like the Worlds and the Olympics, even if it means it hurts our program short term.
Was this the vision that you had when you came and started this program here at UMD? Not only that you would win 5 national titles, but in 2014 you're going to look up at the Olympics and probably have representation on every medal-winning team at a tournament like that?
Well, it wasn't that specific. It really wasn't. But the truth is, when they hired me, and I knew I wasn't at a Big Ten school, I was at a smaller school, I was like, how am I going to be able to compete with these Big Ten schools? And I felt like it was recruiting players from other countries, as well as the Canadians, the Americans, what is traditional, obviously, in this country for U.S. college hockey. And so I obviously knew at that time, if we bring over the Europeans and mix them in with the Canadians, the Americans, over time, we're going to have a global representation in the women's hockey world. And we do, and we're certainly number 1 in that area.
You still have work to do here at UMD. I mean, the Olympics will be fun. We'll keep an eye on those gals. But you and the Bulldogs here have the next 5 weeks to deal with. It starts this weekend at Wisconsin. And you say, even though that's a tough road trip, always going to face the Badgers in Madison, it's a road trip that you and the girls enjoy making out to Wisconsin.
We love it. When you ask most of the girls on our team what's your favorite road trip, they'll say to Wisconsin. And it's the longest road trip on a bus for us, but they love it. You know, we do team building activities. We take some time to do some thoughtful activities about gratitude and things like that. They reflect on what they're grateful for in life. And so it's a trip that, yes, there's some fun involved, but there's some depth there. That helps them grow as human beings. And then, of course, there's a hockey piece to it as well. And we're excited because even though the Olympians are gone, I've shaken it up. We got 3 new units of 5. We've got new power play stuff. And so we're going to get on that bus. It's all new, and we're going for it.
You've said at the top of this that you're in 4th place in the WCHA. That's the top half of the 8-team league. But you've kind of said every year that you want to be in the top 3. You think if you're in the top 3 at year's end, that'll get you in the NCAA tournament. Is that kind of where you see things shaking out as this season progresses?
Well, we're certainly shooting to be in the top 3. You want to be in the top 3. If you're in the top 3 or in the top 8, Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota are ranked 1, 2, 3 in the country. I mean, that's how good our league is. And so if you can be in the top 3, you're going to be in the top 8. When you're ranked 4th in our league, even if you're this far behind the 3rd place team, you're on the outside looking into the NCAA top 8. So our goal is still to get to the 3rd spot, obviously, but right now also, given the fact that we've got the Olympians missing, we've got to make sure we stay in the top 4.
Perfect. Well, best of luck, Coach. Have fun out in Madison, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Coach Shannon Miller, we got to take another break, but coming back, we are going to be joined again by UMD men's hockey senior captain Joe Basaraba. We'll talk about his team's upcoming weekend at the North Star College Cup. It's Bulldog Country.
Bulldog Country is sponsored by UMD Stores. Check us out on the UMD campus or online at umdstores.com.
Welcome back. Some guys take multiple years of junior hockey before getting to college. Some guys just take 1, but there are still a few rare cases where a player jumps right from high school to college. That is the story of Willie Raskob, a true freshman defenseman this season for UMD, who has had immediate impact on that Bulldogs blue line.
This UMD player profile is brought to you by Mining Minnesota.
Someone has to be the youngest guy on the team, and this year that belongs to UMD freshman Willie Raskob.
For a kid who was born in 1995, for me that's a little scary. I was born in 90.
What's even scarier is that Raskob has partnered with Derek Johnson, a 23-year-old junior on the blue line. Midway through the season, Raskob has laid those fears to rest.
He's got great poise with the puck, and he comes every day ready to work, and he asks great questions and, tries to get better every day.
Learning all the time, all the older guys have been helping me a lot, trying to, little things along the way to help my game. So it's been a lot of fun.
While it's been a lot of fun for Raskob, he also admits there have been some hurdles along the way.
First day of practice, going against a guy like Cameron Easy, I just blew by me. I was like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? But after a few weeks from practice and stuff, it got a lot better and been able to adjust.
Raskob is just the 3rd Bulldog player to make the adjustment from Shattuck St. Mary's to UMD, along with current senior captain Joe Basaraba. Head coach Scott Sandlin is excited to see how he develops.
Hopefully he continues to get better here, and I look to where he could be in a couple years from now when he gets a couple more years under his belt and gets a little stronger. I mean, he's going to be certainly very good for us.
In the meantime, Raskob has to endure this season as the team's pup, and that's okay with him.
We're just young pups on the line, so we're still learning a lot, and we've been thankful to be playing as much as we have.
All the while, though, he's earning the respect of his elders.
I mean, we give him a hard time here and there because he didn't really get to go through the junior hockey stuff, but we love him. He's one of our brothers, and we respect what he's able to do out there for us as such a young player.
And joining us once more is Raskob's teammate, UMD senior captain Joe Basaraba. Joe, you kind of went the same route as Willie, same high school in Shattuck St. Mary's. You came right to UMD as a true freshman. What are the advantages, disadvantages? Do you like having done that, or do you maybe wish you had played a few years of junior hockey?
Yeah, Shattuck's a great place. I loved every moment there, and being able to jump right into college hockey and at UMD was something very special for me. It's hard to say I wanted to go to juniors when I come in my freshman year and, be fortunate enough to be on a national championship team. But, you look at players that have played juniors and then how much they've come along and how much they've been an impact. I think it's different for every player, and, in Willie Raskob's case, he's come in and done a great job so far, and, I think he's going to continue to have success.
Non-conference games for the boys this weekend, part of that North Star College Cup down at the XL Energy Center. You get all these teams from the state of Minnesota kind of crown a state champion of college hockey, if you will. For the guys, is it fun to kind of get together with all those other teams and play in this tournament?
Yeah, I think this tournament will be great. You look at the teams there, it's teams we've had rivalries with for years. Friday night we're playing Mankato. They're a great team. They've been you look at their team from last year to this year, they've had some success, and there's some players on that team that I've played against and played with. It's going to make for an exciting weekend of hockey.
It's a non-conference weekend, so it doesn't count in the NCHC standings, but it's a big weekend as far as pairwise rankings go because you get Mankato for sure on Friday, and then you're going to play either number 1 ranked Minnesota or number 5 ranked St. Cloud State on Saturday. So even though this doesn't count for conference points, you guys know that these are 2 games that you'd like to have looking back on the season.
Yeah, these are real important games for us. We've looked into it, and this is our last 2 non-conference games of the season. When it comes down to pairwise and those regional tournaments, this is going to be very key for us. If we can get 2 wins this weekend, it's going to put us in a pretty good spot looking forward.
This week's Twitter question of the week is kind of about maybe 2 of these teams that you're facing this weekend, but the fans want to know what, in your mind, what is the biggest rival left for UMD? With the switch over from the WCHA to the NCHC, did that change at all for you guys, or do you guys still view maybe one of those non-conference teams as your biggest rival?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We got a lot of rivals. You look at the NCHC, every game's so hard that you're bound to create some rivals there. But I think all in all, you got to look at Minnesota. I mean, we get to play them, and I think everybody steps their game up just that extra 5%. They're a great team this year, and when we went down there, we were able to split. That was a wild series, but I think all in all, that's probably our biggest rival.
Well, hopefully you get another shot at them this Saturday night. Thanks a lot, Joe. Good luck this weekend.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate it. Before we close out our half hour tonight, we're going to look ahead to next week here in Bulldog Country. Men's and women's basketball is at home again. They go against Augustana and Wayne State. Indoor track and field traveling to the MSU Open. Women's tennis starts its season with a dual meet against St. Scholastica, and men's and women's hockey both on the road again. The men go to Western Michigan. The women will be visiting Bemidji State. So with that, we are going to say goodbye, Bulldogs fans. Remember, you can keep up with any and all UMD news on our website, nncnow.com. We will be back same time, same place next week. Until then, I am Zach Schneider. Thank you very much for watching Bulldog Country here on the My9 Sports Network.